My name's Elizabeth Hudson-Evans. I'm a member of the Oxford Guild of Guides, an association of tourist guides here in Oxford.
I am a local historian, essentially, but with a particular interest in the non-university side of the town, and that has grown from a particular interest in the waterways of Oxford.
I've been doing these tours for the last 20 years.
My name's Karen Beasley. I'm a day porter here at sunny Balliol College in Oxford. We deal with the tourists that come in, sort of telling them a bit about the college, when it started, what the college offers, as in the degrees that we do, how many students we have, all those basic things.
I think the majority of casual or quick visitors to Oxford, understandably, they go to the university quarter. They like to see the wonderful university colleges. But the other side of Oxford, the older city, the bit really which predates the university, tends to get overlooked. So very, very few people are conducting visitors to those parts, and that is what I do.
We've seen Worcester College. That's where my friend is.
We just took a walk around the grounds. It's a beautiful spot there, and we've just come through the town centre. We've got our own guide right here.
I've been taking them around, but I don't really know anything.
I do quite a lot of specialist tours because, of course, we have Alice in Wonderland and the Inklings, Tolkien and Lewis. I do Harry Potter tours.
Is this where Harry Potter was filmed? That is the most asked question every day of a porter's life is, does Harry Potter get filmed here? It's not quite here.
So I do very specific Alice walks that just look at all of the influence of the real Oxford on the fantasy stories.
And of course Inspector Morse tours. I quite enjoy doing those. But I think probably the general tours, which involve a bit of the history of the city as well as of the university, I think those are my favourite tours.
Even though you live in Oxford, it's amazing that you just take so much of it for granted. And it really wasn't until I went on a bus tour that I realised how much more there was to Oxford than what I'd actually seen by just walking down the street.
Well, if you take a bus tour rather than a walking tour, you get to know a lot. Well, you get to know a little about a lot, whereas when you do a walking tour, you get to know a lot about a little, shall we say.
I have the kudos of actually living on the water and being able to bring the whole thing up to right up to date and see the whole continuity of how the geography and the history of this locality have actually combined to produce what we see today. I've continued doing them really ever since, taking people to parts of Oxford that aren't normally visited. There was nothing like what we see today, and the people who did it were simply people who had an interest rather than having any strict authority to do these tours.
My favourite Oxford landmark, I think for me, going from Military Path, I suppose, is the Martyrs Memorial.
I think one of my favourite pieces of architecture and engineering in Oxford is the Hertford Bridge, the Bridge of Sighs. Reminds me a lot of Venice.
Well, my favourite Oxford landmark is right next to me, quite honestly. It's this lock, it's just an extraordinary place.
The Bodleian Library, without question.
I think the Sheldonian Theatre is my favourite.
I really like the Radcliffe camera, partly I think because it's been in so many films.
I've heard that Pitt Rivers is really good. Is that the natural history, the one that has dinosaurs in it? Yes. Okay, yeah, I've been there before, man. It's good.